Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss another Greek personality, that's Nelson Mandela, which is one of my favorites. So let's begin. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was a South African resistance leader who, after years of imprisonment for opposing apartheid racial discrimination, emerged to become the first president of democratic South Africa. He became a symbol of the frustrated aspirations of South Africa's black majority. The son of Henry Mandela, the chief of Xhosa speaking Tembu tribe, Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1980, at Umtata, Cape of Good Hope. He studied law at Witwatersrand University and set up practice in Johannesburg in 1952. Unlike the young leaders with whom he grew up, Mandela was ready to try every possible technique to destroy apartheid peacefully. Though he was too, realized the futility of non-violence in the view of conditions which prevailed in the country. Mandela joined the African National Congress in 1944, and being one of the Black Liberation Group leaders, Mandela was engaged in the resistance against the ruling National Party's apartheid policies. He was arrested and charged with treason in 1956. The case against him and others collapsed in 1961. He was arrested again during the state of emergency which followed the Sharpeville shootings in 1960. Both the Pan-Africanist Congress and African National Congress, which had organized the demonstration which led to the shootings, were banned. Mandela, the South African lawyer and a black nationalist, abandoned his non-violent stand and began advocating acts of sabotage against the South African regime. This was instigated by the massacre of unarmed Africans by the police force at Sharpeville. In 1961, Mandela founded ANC's military wing, and in 1963, police discovered quantities of arms and equipment at the headquarters of the underground Umkhonto, vis-a-vis the sphere of the nation of ANC. Several other men were tried for sabotage, treason, and on June 11, 1964, Mandela was sentenced to the life imprisonment. During the 27 years that Mandela spent in prison, he suffered a lot, and his quiet suffering was just one of the numerous pressures on the apartheid government. Public discussions of Mandela were illegal and he was allowed few visitors, but as the years dragged on, he assumed the status of martyr. In 1988, Mandela was hospitalized with tuberculosis, and after his recovery, he was turned to the prison under less stringent restrictions. But by this time, the situation within South Africa was becoming desperate for the ruling powers. Civil unrest had spread, and international boycotts and diplomatic pressures were increasing. South Africa was being increasingly isolated as a racist state, and it was against this backdrop increasingly isolated as a racist state. South Africa was being increasingly isolated as a racist state, and it was against this backdrop that F.W. de Klerk, the president of South Africa, finally headed the calls from around the world to release Mandela. On February 11, 1990, Mandela, grey and thin, walked out of Westminster prison. He visited United States to raise funds for his cause. Both Mandela and F.W. de Klerk realized that only a compromise between the whites and blacks could avert a disastrous civil war in South Africa. In September 1992, the two leaders signed a record of understanding that created a freely elected constitutional assembly to draft a new constitution and act as a transition government. The first all race elections were held in 1994, and Mandela was the first black man to be elected president of South Africa. Mandela's agenda as a president consisted of diffusing the political differences and building up South African economy. He introduced a redevelopment and construction program designed to improve the living standards of the country's majority black population. The program emphasized housing and education. Mandela's presidency, for the most part, was successful to a remarkable degree. His skill as a conscientious builder plus his enormous personal authority helped him lead the transition to the majority democracy and peaceful future. He backed the establishment of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which offered amnesty to those who had continued crimes during the apartheid era in the interest of clearing up the historical record. The elderly statesman even gave rise to the new style of dressing known as Madiba Smart. Madiba was Mandela's Xhosa clan title, by which he was informally known as Smart. It was a local slang for nicely turned out. Mandela without question was both the leading political prisoner of the late 20th century and one of Africa's most important reformers. The man who spent nearly 3 decades in prison out of dedication to his cause became an international symbol of human rights. Mandela, to some extent, is also a writer. His writing and speeches were collected in No Easy Walk to Freedom in 1965 and I Am Prepared to Die in 1979. Mandela has won international acclaim for his sacrifice for the cause of human rights and freedom. In 1980, he was given the Nehru Peace Prize by India. East Germany honored him with the Star of International Friendship, and Venezuela confirmed the Simon Bolivar Award on him. He has also been honored with the Sakharov Award and the Human Rights Award. In 1990, Bharat Ratna was conferred on him. He was also awarded the Nobel Prize for the efforts to end the apartheid and bring about peaceful transition to a non-rational democracy in South Africa. Nelson Mandela has come to symbolize human struggle against racial discrimination. Apartheid. Apartheid policy governed relation between South Africa's white minority and non-white majority, and sanctioned racial segregation and political and economical discrimination in its non-whites. The implementation of apartheid, often called separate development since 1960s, was possible through Population Registration Act of 1950, which classified all South Africans as either Bantu or Black African, colored, those of mixed race, or white. Mandela fought against this policy and retained his wide support among the South African black population, and his imprisonment became a cause célèbre among the international community that disapproved of apartheid. In 1993, a new constitution enfranchised blacks and other racial groups, and all racial race elections in 94 produced a coalition government with the black majority. Thank you. So now I will talk about some of his quotes. The quotes by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Another, when a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the trump over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue or pen, then you have something very special. It always seems impossible until it's done. Another, I am fundamentally an optimist, whether that comes from nature or nurture. I cannot say. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed towards the sun, one's feet moving forward. There were many dark moments when my faith in humanity was sorely tested, but I would not and could not give myself up to despair. That way lays defeat and death. No one is born hating another person because of color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to human heart than its opposite. Now another, resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemy. Another, for to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. There's another that's on personal growth and self-discovery. There's nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Another, do not judge me by my success, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Now the quote is on perseverance. I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended. Another, as I walked out the door towards the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I would still be in prison. This one is my favorite. So you have to leave your bitterness behind. This is the most beautiful quote I love about this person. Lead from the back and lead others. Lend from the back and let others believe they are in front. I am not a saint unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying. Another, there is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. As I have said, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. Great peacemakers are all people of integrity, of honesty, but humility. Overcoming poverty is not a task of charity. It's an act of justice. Like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Sometimes it falls on the generation to be great. You can be great, generation. Let your greatness bloom. As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. Now about the leadership. A leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nibble go out ahead, whereupon the other follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind. Another, may your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. It's said that no one truly knows a nation until one has been inside its jails. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizen, but its lowest one. Another, I am the captain of my soul. Another, a nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizen, but its lowest one. One more, a winner is a dreamer who never gave up. Where you stand depends on where you sit. One of the things I have learned when I was negotiating was that until I changed myself, I cannot change others. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. Thank you. Have a nice day.